Continuing our discussion about managing software, we're going to look at managing it with ports. Now, ports is a utility that's basically unique to BSD. However, there are some offshoots. For example, the portage utility in Gentoo comes from the ports in BSD. Like ports, other software allows you to manage software by using source code, and we find that on other Unix and Linux distributions. But ports basically is the BSD software that deals with source code. Again, usually you'll find this in a tarball. You'll download the tarball, you'll place it on your system and extract it. You'll put it in the correct directory, and then you'll run a series of make commands to install this software from source code. Now, most of the time this is installed in /user/ports, and we're going to take a look at some of the ports that are available for BSD, and we're also going to install a piece of software using ports, using the make commands. Okay, we're in a FreeBSD 8 virtual machine, a new one I've just created, and we're going to go ahead and let's see where we're at. We're in /root. We're going to look at installing the bash shell, which is not installed by default, but it is in the ports collection because a lot of people like bash, and you may have some users that want to use it. So let's first see where bash is stored at. And we see that it's in user/ports/shells/bash. And let's go there. Let's go to /user/ports first. And let's go ahead and do an ls-al there. Let's pipe that into ls because it's actually going to be a lot of stuff in there. As you can see, let's once again try to put that in ls. We've got a lot of different things in here. You've got audio, you've got tools and so forth. And you've also got shells, sysutils, and that's where we'll find some of the things we're going to install. Now, a lot of these ports are just sitting here waiting for you to install them, so you've got the entire ports collection that have been downloaded upon the system install, from the sysinstall command, as a matter of fact. Let's go ahead and go into shells, and we're going to find bash. And if we do a directory on that, we're going to see some basics that you'll see in most ports directories. A makefile, a dist info, which basically is information about this distribution, files, and some package utilities, or rather files, that ports uses for information on installing and uninstalling this software. It's very simple to install this, and again, we're installing the bash shell basically, and basically we run a series of make commands. Now, some commands require more than one simple make. Some might require make install, make configure, and others, and some simply require a make install. Again, this is going to install from source code. So let's go ahead and type make install, and normally what will happen is it will download from a site, an FTP site, or the CD, and it will also attempt to determine dependencies and install those dependencies if they're required. In other words, other packages that your software you're trying to install may depend upon. In some cases this can take a little time, in other cases it can take just a few seconds. Now, this isn't going to take very long, but keep in mind if you're installing several packages or packages that require a lot of dependencies, it may take a few minutes. Although it may take a little while, some software does. We're now finished installing the bash shell, and as we can see, it went through a very lengthy install process, changed a lot of things on the system, installed some other software, reconfigured some things. Most of that fairly irrelevant to our discussion right now. Some of it may be relevant later as you get more experience in the BSD and Unix environment. The next thing we want to do is type in where is bash again, and what we hope to see now is a little bit more. We'll still see it in user ports shells like we did before, but now we should also see it in user local bin bash, and that's where the shell actually resides. So if we go there and execute that, we are now in the bash shell. So we've installed the bash shell and we've showed how to use it through ports.